Hello there, how is everyone today, and welcome back to our channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning into our channel, and if you can support us, we're a small channel on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel and leave a comment down below. GBWC Australia just concluded a couple of weeks ago, and today we would like to share our thoughts on some of the entries and also to talk about this new Wakaba category that was introduced in GBWC Australia. So that's a new category. We've never seen this category before, and I don't think Bandai will introduce this category in other countries. So far, I've not seen it in Hong Kong, Philippines, or even Korea. So maybe this Wakaba category is just for GBWC Australia. We will see, right? Now, before we begin, a very big thank you to Robocity and also Aru Aru Rei for providing us all the awesome shots of every single entry from GBWC Australia. Now this video is special because thanks to both Robocity and also Aru Aru Rei, we get to see a different perspective of how every single entry looks like in different angles and also different lighting. And you know, the photos from Robocity were all from the show floor itself, and the ones with the close-ups are all from Aru Aru Rei. So when I was putting this video together, matching all the different entries, it was quite interesting because when I first saw some of the entries from Robocity, of all the entries at the show floor itself, there were some entries where I felt like, man, you know, they don't really look that good. But then when I saw the same entry and the pictures from Aru Aru Rei, it completely changed my mind. So this really brings me back to when our GBWC judge, Mr. Meijin Kawaguchi, stressed how difficult his job is, right? I think he is constantly criticized over his pick for winners from every single GBWC across the years in every different country, and he actually has a very valid point. For those of us who don't get to attend GBWCs in every single country, we actually have to rely on the pictures that we see on the internet. And as you can see from this video here itself, some of the pictures, you know, in different lighting, different angle, it really look really bland from the entries, right? But if you actually see the kit itself in person or in different lighting or even different angle, it really changes your perspective of the overall build and entry for GBWC. And of course, if you guys have been to GBWC before, take a minute and look at how the judges at the final day look and evaluate every single entry. You know, they take a long time to look at every single entry from different angle, different height, different lighting, not only just from build quality, paint job, and also finishing. So that's something that I thought is a very interesting combination perspective that we've never seen before from all the different GBWC coverage that we've done. So this time around, especially thank you to Robocity and Aru Aru Rei. You know, your pictures are awesome. We get to see a real life pictures of the entries at the show floor, but also at the same time the actual pictures of the kids' entries in close-up shots. Now let's talk about this new category of Wakaba builders. What does Wakaba builders mean? What is this new category all about? Well, Wakaba is basically a Japanese word meaning young leaf. So in Japan, when you're a new driver on the road, they actually put this sticker of a green and yellow leaf. So older drivers will get to see, oh, this is a guy who has probably got his driving license, so he is a Wakaba driver. So they will give them a little bit more leeway and forgiveness, I suppose. So Wakaba is meant to be a new and fun category for beginners in mind, right? The competition is open to all ages, so they will actually judge you still based on build quality, paint finishing, and also in terms of presentation. How do you pose the kit? And the interesting thing about Wakaba builders is they don't allow any modification. So it has to be a pure out-of-box build with just simple painting, and that's it. Nothing else is allowed, and that is why it's called the Wakaba category. So it's really meant for new beginners to the entry who feel that, you know, they want to participate in the fun and joy of GBWC, having get to participate in the contest but at the same time not really go for any of the open category A or B, where the competition will probably be a little bit more intense with a lot more experienced builders trying to get a place or a medal at the event. So that is actually quite interesting, a new category of Wakaba builders for GBWC Australia 2019. Now let's talk about the entries. There are a total of 109 entries for GBWC this year, and that is including the Wakaba entries. There are not a lot of Wakaba entries anyways, so I think it's still very encouraging. It does look like GBWC Australia is growing every single year. A lot of different and exciting entries. I am actually quite excited about GBWC Australia as usual, because every year, for some reason, right, the entries that you get in Australia are a lot different from what you get in other countries. You typically get to see a lot more Gundam units in other countries' GBWC entries, but for Australia, I actually get to see a lot more mono eyes, and that is actually quite a pleasant surprise. You don't get to see as many Gundam units versus the mono eyes, such as your GMs, your Sinanjus, and everything else. So that is quite a refreshing take for a GBWC entry. And also, for the first time I think in a long time, we finally have a open hatch entry for GBWC. And then again, right, a open hatch did not win the GBWC, but still, nevertheless, it is quite fun to see a open hatch entry, and I've always enjoyed seeing open hatch entries. If you guys have been following my channel, you will know that I've been ranting on and on about not seeing enough open hatch entries in GBWC. Okay, so that's our second observation for GBWC Australia. Now the third observation to the entries, well, I like to see a lot of mono eyes, or the protagonist or antagonist mobile suits. I was quite disappointed, whereas a lot of the entries have very static pose. So this is something that I think hopefully next year we get to see some more dynamic poses, or set and diorama pieces, because that is basically what the judges are looking for, right? They don't just look at in terms of your build quality, your paint finishing, and your modification, but they also look at the overall concept. So if your overall build is just a very statue-like pose of a mobile suit, you're probably not going to win any prizes for GBWC. So it's something that you want to take in mind for the entries in 2020. So that's something interesting. And also, looking at some of the pictures from Aru Aru Rei, it was quite interesting to see actually there's a lot of entries actually with LED units. So with LED baked in, but unfortunately you can't see it in the actual kit itself at the show floor, because I think the lighting do not really permit it. But in all the close-up shot from Aru Aru Rei, you can really see some of them actually have very elaborate LED finishing, lighting up for the mobile suit itself. So that's actually quite a nice perspective that we don't get to see unless we were at the show. And also, interestingly, I think as you guys remember from our previous coverage last year in 2018 of GBWC, I've mentioned this before. Some countries tend to have a certain style of finishing for their kits, and it's actually quite interesting to see that Australia this time around actually has a lot more, little bit weathered, but also at the same time very clean build. So if you look at the entries for GBWC Australia versus other countries, you'll notice that some other countries, their build tend to be a lot more weathered, dirty, greasy, that kind of finishing and look. So that is actually a quite interesting perspective that we are getting to see from the finishing entries of GBWC Australia 2019. In addition to the champion of GBWC Australia, there were quite a few different entries that really caught my eye, and I'm going to share with you right now on what those entries were. This guy, Surprise Attack, I really like the overall finishing to the water attack. Hopefully I'll learn how to do a water effect diorama like this in the future, but overall really like, because I'm a big fan of Zergok as well, so that's a nice touch. This diorama set of Gothic Century is not half bad. I always like how a diorama of a mobile suit running through a damaged town looks like anyway, so I just like it for the sake of how I love this kind of diorama. Now the next one is line of sight. I really like this entire concept of the mobile suit running through a river, but at the same time there's an enemy just right behind, ready to attack. So the entire diorama, the story itself that it tells, is quite fascinating. Now this entry is actually quite elaborate, and the builder itself has shared his entire step-by-step on how he created his entry, and it's actually quite elaborate. I've always liked mono eyes, and this brick dome definitely looks really badass, really beefy. Unfortunately he didn't win, right? Naga Poseidon looks seriously quite amazing. Always like something that is a bit of reptile, but the overall finishing to Naga Poseidon looks like it has a bit of shiny finishing. Looks like it, gloss finish, maybe not. This concept is quite interesting as well. A army of tanks, fleet of tanks ready to attack the mobile suit, or are the mobile suit together with the tanks attacking something else? I can't really tell from this angle, but the overall set and diorama looks great. And this was the runner-up for GBWC Australia 2019. I know the build is simple, but the overall concept and story behind it, when I first saw this, I was like, wow, why didn't I think of this? It's quite a nice, poignant storyline where the female mobile suit is visiting the grave of its fallen husband or comrade, I don't know, but I really like the overall concept. It just really speaks to me. So unfortunately it didn't win, but I guess it shows how much creativity us Gunpla builders can actually have when we are building and submitting our Gunpla builds for GBWC. So the video is going to be about 22 minutes long. There will be some pictures of the winners at the end of the video, and also you get to see all the entries from GBWC Australia, from both a close-up shot and also from both a event shot as well. I would really love to hear from you guys if you find this video fascinating, because seriously, right, it gives you a two different perspective, because we always only see pictures from the internet of all the entries from the show floor, and I always felt that the pictures that we get from the show floor is not ideal, because number one, the lighting is really horrible, right? I'm speaking from the experience of us capturing the event from the past few years. And in addition to the lighting issue, you also have to deal with the smudge fingerprints all across the display glass when you're trying to snap pictures or videos of all the entries. So that is actually some of the challenges that us media folks have when we are trying to cover all the entries for GBWC. And I think for all the GBWC events in the future, maybe they should do this, right? They should get all the entries photographed, videoed from every separate angle, different lighting as well, so it can provide some different perspective when all the Gunpla builders around the world are looking at the entries and judging, hey, why didn't this entry win? Why was this entry picked as a winner instead? And I think after looking at this video, seriously, it really gives you a different look of how we should look at the entries, especially when we're judging it from internet digital source nowadays. Again, a big shout out to Robocity and Aru Aru Rei for being so kind to share your pictures, amazing pictures with us at Awesome Toys TV. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to put up this video. And we would love to provide all the GBWC coverage for the rest of you, but unfortunately we cannot be at every different countries at one time. It's quite costly to travel, as you know, but if you guys are actually planning to visit any upcoming GBWC such as Philippines, Indonesia, and Hong Kong and Taiwan, Korea, if you're kind enough to share your photos with us, please do reach out to us in the comment section down below, or just drop us a private message. We would really appreciate any help we can get to source for pictures or videos from GBWC from all the different countries except Malaysia. At least Malaysia, we can cover that. So again, thank you to both Robocity and Aru Aru Rei. I would love to hear from you guys if any of you are actually participating in GBWC this year. And what do you think of the Wakaba category? Do you think that it's necessary? maybe for other countries as well, to get more people to actually participate into this fun competition. As we mentioned many times before, right? GBWC, just take it as a fun competition, not to really win. If your ultimate goal is just to win and not to have fun, I think it's going to be a very frustrating experience. But just participate, win, meet some new Gunpla fellow builders, and hopefully you get to learn something and see different perspective, different context of how people build, display their entries as well. So this is our video for today. There are a lot more things coming up very soon. With tomorrow being Wonder Festival Summer in Japan, I am wondering whether there's going to be anything new to be announced from Bandai. So stay tuned. If there's going to be anything from Wonder Festival Summer Japan 2019, we will share it on our channel. And to make sure that you don't miss our coverage, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified when we put out a new video. Thank you guys for supporting us. Really appreciate you guys for staying on up to this point in the video. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. Please leave a comment down below and please be gentle in the comment section as usual, right? Thank you guys for watching.